So this topic that we're about to talk about is something very, very interesting, I would say, because we all wish to be wealthy at some point. For some, it's a dream that someday will turn yourselves into a self-made billionaire or millionaire. Some even amass wealth in order to have inheritance for their children, which most of these children nowadays are not even interested in at all, because many of them have traveled abroad, they live with their families over there, they're not interested in what you're amassing here in Nigeria. So the question is, to what end should one amass wealth? Is it for your children or for humanitarian purposes?
I had a family friend who the uncle fell ill during COVID. At that time, the doctors were running away from the hospitals. They needed about 15 million naira to do surgery. Trust me, if that family did not have any small money they were keeping, that man would have died. And they would say it was God's time.
See, I hear that.
No, okay. Let me even finish. So for me, as long as you are being blessed, you are a channel. So what happens after you are gone is none of your business. The children can decide we are successful on our own, like you said, and we don't want to look into it. They find a way to sell off. The children can still be cash-strapped tomorrow in the US or in the UK, and they sell the property to survive. Anything can happen. But it's important that as you are making money, as you are growing in your riches, that you save some. Anything can happen.
Okay, I'm not sure, I'll come to you, Mariam. I'm not sure saving is the problem. The question is, yes, you are saving, absolutely, for the rainy day. We all have to save for the rainy day. But the idea is, these children should take over from this empire I have built. And they've all moved on to Australia, marrying, they're all successful doctors and everything, and they're not interested. So after you've amassed so much extra, to what end is that, is that for?
I will give you an example. Because my father was such a legendary figure, someone that people looked up to, musically, politically, what we did was we buried him in his house. And the reason we took the decision to bury him in his house is so that nobody can wake up one day and sell the house. Then we now gave the house to Lagos State to make a museum. So nobody can wake up and say they want to sell the house. That house now belongs to Lagos State.
So it's an insurance policy.
So it's a plan.
Yeah.
So it was a plan. So I think if you have children who have head.
That's because it's fella. How many people will give their own father's house to Lagos State? Who wants to put their house?
But the point she's making,
the
point she's making is not about giving to Lagos State. It's to ensure that it is used for what they want it to be used for.
Well, okay, I want to puncture what you're saying for a second, because you have built a brand called Felabration. Wouldn't you want Felabration to live after you? So the point I'm trying to make is that you have children. Your brothers and sisters have children. The conversation is that if all these your children go abroad, for example, have families there and live there, Felabration dies.
After you go.
If you have a plan where one of them takes it over now or begins to run it, at some point we know that Felabration has a new generation. So that's the point I'm trying to make, is that you are building this entire empire, not thinking of the succession plan.
That's a lie, because you don't know.
I know. I'm using it as an example of this kind of, this is an example.
Look, I will give you an example.
Right.
The shrine, for instance, cannot be sold by any of our children.
Okay.
Because what we have built is something that we have built for Nigeria. It's not about, when my mother dies or my father dies, I'm going to inherit shrine. No. So you can do it, maybe you turn it into a church. No.
Of all things.
A legacy.
Okay.
If you go ordinary Magodo here, there are houses, mansions, where people have built, they've died. The children are not here, locked up, and people are looking for houses to live in. Young couples are looking for places to build their own lives, but they can't, because XYZ's house, mansion has been left and abandoned in certain poised areas. There are rich people in this our Lagos that have built 10-bedroom mansions. If they log out tomorrow, YK, are they going to rent it out? How do they want to do it? The children that they don't live in Nigeria. The point is that we need to begin to rethink how we are living legacies. Because if ordinary Ekiti, that I go with my husband's family, when we go there, you see beautiful houses on that middle road, locked up, grass, plants, weed everywhere.
So Mariah, wait.
So that's the conversation.
The conversation should be more about, sorry, ma. The conversation should be more about having a successor. or a success.
They don't want, they're not interested.
No, we don't know. You see, everything was started as culture. We live for family, we do it this way. Now, things are changing.
Right.
People are becoming more enlightened.
Yes.
So it's an information that we need to start giving out there. Start making plans for the future. That's the conversation we're having. But at the same time, we cannot tell people how to use the money that they have worked for.
Yes,
I think it's wrong.
So for me, I don't think this conversation is about telling people how to use their money. It's a conversation really about, you know, we are growing, we're evolving. Things are changing.
Yes.
Let's look at how we use our wealth differently.
Exactly.
I like this particular tweet, and I think he understands where it sort of mirrors what I'm trying to say. Talk It Tech says, until we see wealth as something that reflects across an entire society, as opposed to within one man's compound, children will choose to stay abroad because they perceive a better society over there. So now you have a society where people also invest out of their wealth. They invest in their children as well as the society that they come from.
God
and
bless
so
you.
because of that, people are drawn to that society. So we're asking for us here as well.
Jesus.
Do that
So that people can be drawn.
So that even your children that you're
want to
hoping
stay
will
in
not run
our
away
society.
will now be part of that society.
On that note, let's go on a break. God bless you, Mariam. We'll be right back.